There we go. Now I can hear myself. Now I can hear you. No, I can't hear you. I can never hear you, but I can never hear myself. I don't know how that goes. Anyways, happy St. Patrick's Day. Good evening, one and all. Thank you for joining me. Today is March 17th. Um, yeah, good to be here. Hope everybody's having a safe and I don't know what you do on St. Patrick's Day. I wore green today just to be safe. Um, yeah, we do this each and every week in support of Project Healing Waters. We do this every Wednesday, starting at 6 o'clock, run till about 8 o'clock. Sometimes I cut out a little bit early. I'm only human, and tonight marks our 1 year of doing these live streams since the COVID-19 kicked in, pandemic kicked in, and get a little bit better light on me. Now I can see myself. Yeah, we're all here, so let's get things going. It looks like the live stream is working. This kind of threw me off the other day too. It says that I have no data and nobody's watching, and then when I reviewed everything afterwards, everything seemed to be working just fine. Otherwise, minus the super long delay, and now it says we have an excelente connection. I don't know. Say hi in the chats. Smash that like button, as they say. Subscribe, etc., etc. So I decided I didn't want to go too deep into overthinking what to tie tonight, and I decided we'll just tie up something green. I've got hooks and I got a lot of green materials, so let's see what we come up with. It's kind of a quasi St. Patrick's Day freestyle, if you will. I don't know. Freestyle, I don't know if I like that term really so much with fly tying. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if I like it or if I don't. Let me know in the comments or in the chat how you feel about uh, freestyling. I don't know. I think it's just more of just being creative. Is a painter always freestyling if they're just painting? I don't know. Say hi. 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 Anyways, so let's go ahead and just start tying. We're not really sticking to any one particular specific pattern tonight. We're I got some ideas. We're going to be kind of working off some of the classics. And I was thinking, because we're tying with predominantly green, I thought maybe today we could give the green background the night off. Maybe, maybe not. We might have to go back to it. Thought maybe everything will show up just a little bit better. If we're tying with a lot of green, I don't know. You tell me. All right, so where do we want to start? Let's start with a size 8. I was going to do one of these earlier. And this one, we're going to make this just kind of like a little mini clouser, little baby clouser. To me, it's a baby clouser. Anything, I don't know, a size 8 for a clouser is kind of babyish. Oh, thread. Let's go with black. Just because we're doing a green fly doesn't have to be 100% green, if you know what I mean. And I'm just going to use a black 10-aught just because it's handy. And we'll start our thread. And the key thing about, if you're going to be tying a clouser style minnow, I guess if you want to call it that, it's the balance point on which is, I think, the utmost importance. And it's really finding that that sweet spot to put your dumbbell eyes, and it's predominantly going to be right around that 1/3, 2/3 location. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit. Let me back up. Let me back up so I can zoom in a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit. That's a wee bit closer. And the dumbbell eyes is a size 1, 1/80th of an ounce. So you take 80 of these little suckers and you got yourself an ounce. We want to keep it back. We'll just do a couple turns this way, and then we'll do a couple of turns this way. There you got it. Because if your clouser isn't, if you have your dumbbell eyes too far forward, everything just kind of floats up, and if your eyes are back too far back, I don't know. I think I would rather have it further back than too far forward. Some figure eights and some wraparounds. I'm going to add a little dab of the secret sauce. Va-va-va-voom, Sally Hansen's. Just a little dab on the thread. A little dab will glue you. A little insurance policy on there. Work our thread into that. Do a few wraps this way, a few wraps that way. A couple wraps just around the shank of the hook, because it's always good to get a few just right around the shank of the hook. Excellente. Then I'm going to tie this, I don't know, kind of clouser stylish. What I'm going to start with is my material I'm going to be using is crystal web. It's a type of flash. It's a synthetic plastic, it feels like. And where did my big old flashlight go? Look at that light up. It's not a glow in the dark, but its UV reflective properties on this is just absolutely hot. And I'm not sure what color this is. It's fell out of its bag, but same type of stuff. Just a nice little light flash. So instead of bucktail, I'm going to be using flash. So it's kind of like acrylics, kind of like a clouser, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be hot. Alright, cut that off the patch. We'll multiply by dividing real quick, trim off our loops. And what do I keep saying? Sparse is what? Sparse is nurse. And we could go one side is just the flat, even trimmed, or I got a little bit of a taper on this side. I'm going to like that favor for that taper side. So that's about a hook's length and a little bit more. I'm just going to set this right on top. And give it a couple loose wraps up front and immediately go underneath and behind my dumbbell eyes. And because I went relatively loose, I still have the opportunity to kind of adjust if need be. Now I can add some tight locking wraps. I'll go back into the shank just a little bit. Couple of turns, and then we'll just work that forward. Keeping our thread underneath. Boy, we could just add that in there too. but my gut tells me one thing sometimes: keep it sparse. You know what, I'm going to save this little pinch, because that might be enough for our next one. So sometimes if I want to save a material, these little clips, they work great up here to hold things sometimes, but they're also just as good to just grab a bite onto a piece of material you want to save and set it off in front. Jim, good evening. Thanks for tuning in. So this will be our 52nd Project Healing Waters live stream. It's number 52. We're going to be doing it for a few more months. I was talking to our connection at the VA, and I guess their higher ups are starting to communicate as to coming up with a plan moving forward and how it's all going to look and how it's all going to work. And we all know how the VA works and how the speed of the VA works, and it's just a matter of keeping cautious. And I'm going to go just a tick longer than that white crystal flash, or what is it? Pearl crystal web, not crystal flash. It calls it crystal web. Keeping that right on top. And we should be able to do a nice little taper. Because even with this, we can just taper it. You know what? That's even going to be enough. Well, I tell you what, it's a good thing I've got two of these. Oh, I might lose that one. I have another tool for the job for that. Alright, we'll just lock this the rest of the way down. We'll build a small little cone head up front. This is a 10-aught thread. Gotta remember that. So sometimes if you do want to use your thread for construction purposes, like building a little cone up front, it might take an extra turn or two. I think that'll work. Alright, so now that I got this fly in here, and I know we got a few of us watching, let me know in the comments what camera, what lighting I think works a little bit better. I mean, we can see the green, but I also think perhaps we could use the green background. I don't know. Let me know in the comments which background is better, green or white. Or I think the black's just a little bit, I don't know, the black actually comes out pretty nice right now. So I think we should add a little dab of insurance policy on this. We're going to go ahead and use our Solaris Bone Dry. I always like the nice clean look of that. A little dab of glue, so just one little drop on Mr. Bodkin. needs another little half a drop. There it is. Sometimes we can work it right into the part in between the eyes. Bada boom, bada bing. I got a green looks best. How do I know when to use Sally Hansen's or UV resin? Perfect question. Great question. And that's not just to saying a great question, just to say great question. That's a bona fide good question. How I like to think of it, for the most part, my UV resins I like to think more or less as cosmetic. For something on the surface, and I want it to look super shiny or slick. It's a great surface finish, and if I want something like what I did earlier with the dumbbell eyes, I just put a little dab of Sally Hansen's. And when I say Sally Hansen's, honestly, you could use any fingernail polish. I just prefer Sally Hansen's for whatever reason. I don't know. Some people like LA nails. Some people like ruby kisses or something else. But usually when I do Sally Hansen's, I usually apply it. I used to just apply it, you know, in replacement of this. This is head cement. How do we know this? Because that's what it says. This is head cement and it contains 1 fluid ounce. As we can see over the years, it's yellowed. It's a wopsy, and this works really good. You just get this on, bloop bloop, just a little dab of glue, and it does the same thing. But I don't know how much this costs. Um, but then this is a little bit more handier, I think, and it comes with a little brush-on applicator. And sometimes, maybe I did on this one or not, I trim the brush. If the brush is too thick, you can absolutely trim it off. And sometimes you can go with black. If you just wanted to paint a little black head cement on there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like cornholing myself into one option. Here's some glitter. Maybe we'll do this on our next one. So yeah, there's always ways to do things. And then for the resins I usually use for building the bodies of certain flies, for surface coverings, etc. Like if I were to use Sally Hansen's to cover eyes on a minnow, it would take a few layers. It would take a couple minutes to do it, but eventually it would work. Let's go ahead and, I don't know, we'll use the same hook. We'll see about tying something the same but different. Maybe we'll save our dumbbell bead and we'll do something with the body and maybe do it just like a hair wing. So I like the idea of having the black head up front. Oh boy, don't drop your Dr. Slick razors into your lap. That's never a good time. Alright, we're going to do something like a hair wing, or maybe we could do like, I don't know. I've got this green, I think it's a braided wire or a twisted wire. Yeah, it's just twisted. Maybe we'll just do a body of that. How about that? We're improvising now. Let's take our, I don't want to hit that with my scissors. I need to find my nippers. The nippers are never too far down. Oh, oh man. We got all sorts of fun things we could tie with this now. See, I just found this. I was digging for the nippers, and I found this. And we're gonna improvise. We're gonna add this on top at the very end. Let's add a little bit of dubbing on this, and I'm gonna add another wire because I'm gonna have that be like an underbody. I need another wire. Let's go. We need a gold or silver wire, or copper, or bronze, or brass. A silver she be. And this is just a fine silver wire. So that's what we got so far. Got a green wire and a fine silver wire. It's French. Alright, I was going to do a little bit of dubbing. We'll do a little dub of dub. And in the spirit of keeping things green. No, wait, I wasn't going to do dubbing. This wire was going to be my body. So I'm just going to take touching wrap to this. Do I want to give it a twist as I work? I think I do. Yeah. Definitely a green improv night. This would be interesting with a green screen. I thought about doing a green screen. I've seen ads for this big dumb thing that you're supposed to attach to the back of your chair, and then you have a green screen behind you, but I don't know. I don't think I need a green screen. Do you? That's just, I can barely keep this thing going. Alright, don't take the scissors to that because that will just wreck, that'll just wreck them. Don't ask me where this green wire came from or what it is, but it's kind of pretty nifty. Whatever it is, wherever it came from. But that almost went on, and it almost feels a little like a, oh, I don't know. Almost like a bubblegum tinsel. So we got this little baby zonker strip. And let's go right about there. Trim that and preserve the edge. So I cut the hide, not the hair. Cut the hide, not the hair. That'll be alright. And up front here, I want to cut the hair and not the hide. We just want to do a small little patch, cut a little 1/8 inch off of just the hair. That'll give us something to actually tie onto. I'm going to bring it to the side as I tie it in, and then after a few wraps it'll want to level itself off, and we'll just keep it on the top side. I think that's fantastic. Alright, so I'm going to pull the hair straight up. This is just like some sort of leech or zonk or something like that. Usually once you get your first wrap in, we'll do a second one right on top of that. And this is fine enough, we can just address whatever we got as we're coming through it. Or we could just take Mr. Bodkin here. It's like we got all these fancy tools, right? Might as well use them. I think the bodkin is one of the most underrated bench side tools. You know, we talk about having enough of this and enough of that. It's nice having multiple bodkins. You know, I got ones that I ramrod. I have no problems taking it and just jabbing it right into a bottle of Zap-A-Gap to clear it out. Doesn't hurt my feelings none. I wouldn't do it with my fancy bodkins though. That's a wire too, so we'll trim that off. You know, kind of going back to the head cement, you know, Sally Hansen's versus the UV resins and when to really apply them. Um, if you're doing a proper whip finish, if you're terminating your fly as such with the proper amount of tension and the proper knottage, it's just something extra. It's a little bit like what did it's exactly as I call it. It's a little bit of insurance policy. You know, will it keep your fly together forever longer? Yeah, maybe, maybe not. You know, but if you put all your hopes and dreams into one fly and one fly only, then I would make sure I glue the crap out of it. And I think from the inside and out, it would be made out of Zap-A-Gap, and it probably wouldn't even fish that well. Um, but head cement, I don't think is absolutely necessary all the time. You know, it's good to make things look clean up front. You know, especially if you're tying flies for other people or want to share them. You know, you always want to make your stuff look good as best as you can. You know, if somebody asks me, hey, can I get a X amount of whatevers? You know, I'll do my best to make them look good. But if they're like, hey, get them to me quick, ASAP, I don't care what they look like. They just need to fish. Then let's go. Alright, there's something green. And I will say one of the things that I've noticed, and I see it happen on virtually all fly tying videos, when they use the UV resin, they literally just zap it with the flashlight for just a half a second, and that's it. Bone dry is supposed to work in 10 seconds or less, or not 10 seconds or less, but it oh yeah, I guess under 10 seconds. So let's time it. Does my thing doesn't have seconds, does it? Yeah, it does. So I don't know what it is, but that was 10 seconds with the flashlight. So, give yourself plenty of time. And also with the UV resins, like I did with these, crease flies from last week. I took them all outside. Just took them for a little walk and got some sunshine on them. That's all she needs. All right, let's step up our game. We did a two size 8. These are size 8s. This one and our little clouser. We're gonna step up our size a little bit. We're still gonna keep it green. It's all about keeping it green. So who do we got in here tonight? We got Josh, or not Josh. We got uh, I'm gonna mispronounce that. Sharon, Sharon, Sharyn, Sharon. That'd be my guess. Sharon. We got Jim and we got Richard. That's who I see in the chat. Hiya, hello, how are you? Let's go bigger. Go big or go home, right? Let's go with the 1-aught. Gamakatsu. And for this, we'll go with a big thread. How about this? This looks like something, even though it says hot yellow. Close enough to, I guess it's not quite green. Maybe we'll just kind of stick with our hair wing concept. Oh, no, I wanted to do kind of like a big old bugger. So all right, we got our hot chartreuse. Hot chartreuse is green enough, right? Chartreuse is a green, I think. Yeah, it might be just a little too yellow for my tastes. I'll grab a couple of these feathers. Let's go our standard hook's length. Just because we're tying a big marabou or a big woolly bugger doesn't mean we have to go out of proportions. Run our thread up. And we're going to wrap that around. Hey Josh, thanks for tuning in, brother. Getting ready for spring. All right, let's add some flash. Let's add some of this green flash in here, or kind of like this. We are more or less just kind of experimenting tonight with all sorts of different things. I like that. Ooh, but you know what we could do? So we could run that. Nope, I'm just going to leave it back there. And we'll just cut this guy to length right about there. So we got a little bit on either side. No way. How about that for some big old chenille? Maybe that might even need a bigger hook. But I do like this white underneath. I'll go with this. We're going to do this, and we're going to get some wire. I'm actually going to go with a little bit heavier of a wire. Medium silver. Because we're going to do a reverse hackle on this. As in we're going to tie our hackle in up front, pull it to the rear and lock it in with that wire. How's this for a fun chenille? Kind of a white and sparkly. I got the smart mouth in the house. Good evening. All right. This will give us a little contrast. Alright, we'll leave ourselves plenty of room up front. Guess what we do not want to do? We do not want to crowd the eye. So, has anybody gotten their March Madness brackets filled out? I've watched 0 games this year, and I filled out a bracket. How about that? I'll be lucky if I don't just scrape the bottom of the bracket or the group that I join every year, the in-laws bracket. 'Cause I know nothing about nothing this year. I know my Spartans didn't do too well. But I don't know. We're doing all right. I got this big old hackle. I think this is going to be just fantastic right here. This big old one, right? Yeah. How's that for a extra big, extra sloppy? Repair this. We'll just trim off the fluff. And go just a little bit more. That'll work. We'll give it the old high and tight. A little notch on either side of the stem. Excellente. Tie this bad boy in up here. Top side up, green side out. I hope everybody just set it in their mind. This is such a big bad boy. I'm not going to bother with the hackle pliers. Actually, you know what? I take it back. I will. Mind the tip of the hook. Yeah, buddy. Alright, we'll do our wire, wrap that forward. Or we'll do one full turn at the rear. Oh, that stem broke off, but that's the way it's going to be anyways. Yeah, buddy. That's a big old green woolly bugger. I think it's gonna be just fine, fine, fine. I'll go back a little bit because I like a good solid head up front for my buggers. You want it to be proportionate, right? How about that one, huh? I like that one. I'll add a little dab of bone dry on that. And you just set it and forget it. Boy, it's been a while since I've just tied a woolly bugger. Straight up. I think I still got it. You still's got it, Johnny. What do you think about the good old woolly bugger? Now that's a big old 1/0 and a B10. B10. Compared to our clouser that we tied earlier. So you'll want to tune in next week. I'm attending online something or another with Project Healing Waters HQ. Um, and I'll have all sorts of information. Hopefully, I'll be able to share with everybody and instructions as to what things are going to look like moving forward. So, next week I should have an update as to what may or may not be headed down the pipeline, which is crisscross awesome sauce. We'll set that big old bugger off to the side. And let's do another, got this one last B10 left. Might as well use it up, right? I'm really not I really don't tie too much with mono, to be honest. Question is, do I use the thread because of the color, or is there reason not to use mono? I like threads of all colors in all shapes and all sizes. But in this one today, here tonight, it's because a 210 denier. I like the flat wax nylon. I like the nylon because it's got a little bit of stretch to it, and because it's waxed. When you do stretch it and add a little bit of tension, a little bit of heat on it, it does it kind of puckers up, or it slicks up. It gets down. Um, let's see what else we can do. What else can we tie on a one-aught hook that's got some green feel to it? Let's do. I got an idea. Let's get some of this green squirrel tail. And this is going to be our tail. Alright, we'll clean off our tail a little bit. And we'll run this into our hair stacker. I'm not going for a big chunk. I just want a little subtle tail. I think that looks fantastic. And I want this body to retain its nice and even shape the best it can. So I'm going to tie this in full, or pert near full length on the top side. Up front, we'll give that a little taper trim. We'll add a little bit more up front. I'm kind of thinking like a big old sea trout fly or something like that. Oh, before I go back, I want to tie in my wire. I think this I'll just go with the fine silver. got some good old H2O flash. Kelly Green. And we're going to run this. This is going to be our body. This is just like a green Flashaboo. We'll get that tied in. That's good. That looks pretty slick just as it is. But this is what we're after here. We're going to do the whole body. Nice and even, full coverage. That's what we're after. Overlapping, slightly overlapping. Get her done. Alright, let's take a wrap or two back here. Alright, I'll give that a quick trim. We'll see what happens. There we go. Alright, I'm going to do a thin layer of bone dry over top of this just to give it just a quick little light splash. Just a little dab. Alright, my next little idea in this one is we're going to add a little dab of dub. And then we'll add a kind of a collar. Or actually, better yet, I'm going to grab a few strands of peacock curl. Go back just a little bit. Here we go. Give those a twist. Just twist forward with that, clockwise. Oh, that's fantastic. Ouch. I don't call that a B10 stinger for nothing. Actually, when I first started tying this fly, I was thinking about putting that little puff right on the back. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? We'll go with that same dyed olive grizzly. Peel off the back end like a banana. Clear that end off because we're going to tie it in by the tip. But not by the tippity tip tip. I'll go right about there. Top side out, green side up. Perfect. Keeping the top side of the feather towards the front. Work my way all the way into those longer fibers. Stacking these on nice and dense. Yeah. Chunky little stem there. Can we get that just a little bit better? I think so. Where did my whip finish go? There it is. How'd you get way over there? I don't know. I like that little snowball. I think that could intrigue something. I don't know. What do you call that? That's something. I think that'll work. Two out of the sorts. All right, let's do another one. Let's do something different. Let's go back to these size 8s. let's do this. Let's go. We'll tie our thread on. We'll leave a long tag end. At which point we'll tie in a large clump of peacock herl. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or so pieces. I like that. I'll grab all these and twist it forward. We'll just take touching wraps. Oh, we got one that wanted to spray on us. Forgot I'm using this 210 denier thread. It's huge. Nice and tight. Evenly spaced. Work our way right through that. Boy, I'm liking the look of that one. Let's grab a little grizzly. A little grizzly hen hackle. Tie that in by the tip. Oh, it broke off. Hope it doesn't break now. Here we're just going to take a couple of turns. Not quite like that last one. We'll keep the front side forward as best as we can. Oh, I'm not using my hackle pliers. It's a case of we got the tools, might as well use them. What I'm looking for the hackle to just kind of tickle the tip of the hook. That's about as far as we want to go. A few locking wraps. You're good to go. Boy, I like that one. That one turned out pretty slick, pretty easy. Let's see, a hopper, a shrimp, whatever you call it, it looks great. Hey Dave, hey Ben, thanks for tuning in. Always good to see ya. Maybe we could tie a hopper. I don't see why not. Got me looking for foam. Maybe we could do bet you I got enough for a little gurgler here. I bet you I got enough for a little gurgler here, huh? I bet you I do. Look at this little piece of scrap foam. I think that's gonna be a... You're about to be a gurgler, sir. You're gonna be a small gurgler because you're gonna be a little size 8. I don't think I've ever tied a gurgler in a size 8. And let's go, we'll use this for our tail. We'll use this bright pearl, not pearl, but this bright green, hot radioactive green crystal web for our tail instead of bucktail or hackle or anything like that. Why not? It should give us a nice little, yeah. Oh, you know what it could do? Yeah, we'll do that. Tie this in on the near side. And I'm going to take a couple of wraps around this as if it was a post. Uh-oh. Hear me out here. Gonna go all on the inside. We're gonna do a split tail. There we go. So the tail is split right down the middle, half going one way, half going the other way. Let's get our foam at the ready. And with the foam, I want it to be about a hook's width. I gotta remember, let me square this piece up a little bit. There. I want about a hook's width. So make a little mark, and then I will go parallel with that far side. Tie in a little pencil crayon tip. Suppose I could have done this before that'll be just enough. Make just a little further. I don't know. I think maybe at the end, the tail is just going to be the tail. And we're going to keep this really simple but unique. Look at this stuff. This is some chartreuse, kind of a straggle string. We're just going to do this on the bottom. I'm not going to bother with a hackle or anything. This is just going to be it underneath. Kind of all of our bulk just kind of ends right there, so what better spot to stop than right there. Fold our flap forward. Couple loose wraps at first. We got a few underneath here. Alright, let's go ahead and trim these back just a little bit. Yeah. It's definitely something. It's not nothing. Of course, you gotta make a couple marks. Break it up a little bit. Alright, let's see what else we can do. I'll get this hook sitting right here. This is I don't know what hook that is. I think it's a size 10. No, that's not a size 10. It's got to be a 12. Could be a 10. I think that's closer to a 10 than 12. So it looks like a 10 nymph hook. Got some more ideas cooking up in my brain as far as green things to tie. I've already tied kind of a menagerie of things. Let's go with this olive thread. I think I'm just going to do a dubbing body. Maybe a flashback. Let's try that. I know I saw some pearl. That's my small. I think I want to go a little bit bigger. To my large. Is that going to be too big? We'll see. Only one way to find out, right? So this we're just going to do like a flashback with a ribbing and a dub body. We'll pick it out. So first things first, we'll just do this all the way to the rear. We'll lock our flash in. This is just some pearl, iridescent. And we'll just stick with the fine silver. We'll stick with silver. We've got options, silver or gold. We'll stick with the silver for this to keep it kind of bright and popping all the way to the rear. Alright, so for the dubbing, I found this, it's called Bullfrog Spring Olive. We'll give it a try. And I think we'll have to add a little dab of wax on our line. And a little bit goes a long way, aka a little dab of W. Get our way to the rear, and we'll just start building it up. And I don't want to be super thin on it. Flash that forward. All right. Let's do a small little head, and that's going to be it for this. We'll pick that out with the Velcro underneath. It's almost like a little sow bug. I guarantee the little panfish will just love that. If I can get it a little more with the bodkin. Just picking out in between where the wires are, not necessarily digging out. We'll see about getting a little bit more up front than in the back. Yes. He likes it. Need to give my back a quick little break. See how everybody's doing. Let me switch cameras over here. Bada boom, bada bing. Here we are. All right, let me see. How we doing in the chat? We'll take a few minutes. I need to stretch my back. Ay, ay, ay. And then the time just disappeared. There it is. Came back. 1924. I don't know. What do we think? Keep going? Call it a night? What else should we tie? Something green. Or, what am I thinking? Oh, let's do a Timberwolf or a Timberwolf. I'm drawing a blank on my Timberwolf JDKs. I could never. Actually, no, I do have some Timberwolves here. Maybe we'll revisit Timberwolves next week. I don't know. Might take next week off. No, we don't. We can't take next week off. We got our Project Healing Waters update. Like I said earlier, for those of you who are joining me, this is a Project Healing Waters in support of Project Healing Waters live stream in support of the St. Cloud program. And Tuesday, there's a video webinar, and we're going to be finding out some information, hopefully. But veterans of St. Cloud, VA, if you're going to get your COVID vaccine, give them a call. Hit the standard 1670 or whatever the last four to call the VAs, and option 8, tell them you want your vaccine. So let's do one or two more. Yeah, I think I'm good for maybe one more. Oh, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Nope, not that one. This one. All right. I found this. It piqued my interest. It got me excited. So we're gonna do it. Let's go with our size 8s because they're handy. There's nothing more convenient than having a box of hooks sitting right there. I really like this crystal web flash. Actually, I got a little patch right here already. for this, I'm going to do a dubbing loop. Yeah. We like dubbing loops. I love dubbing loops. They're so much fun. Get some. Oh, we'll wax our line first. '3D. Whoa, whoa. And we'll just take some of this Leech Dub Lime. Take a small little pinch of that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack it in my hand, in my fingers. I'm going to pull the fibers away from each other and then set them on top of each other. And ultimately what I'm looking for is to get all these fibers more or less oriented in the left-right fashion. Understanding that nothing is 100%, but it's a start. And then we can lay that all out on the fingertips. Insert tab A into loop B. Spread that all out. Yeah, this is going to be a hot mess. I'm going to like it. Velcro that out. Oh, so carefully. Alright. This is going to be it for this. Let's take touching wraps all the way. I guess I could have added some wire on top of this for ribbing if I wanted. But this is just kind of a quick, fast, down and dirty pattern maybe. Just to keep it simple. I'm not worried about things getting twisted up there. I just want things to get palmered on nice and tight, nice and even. I'll just build that up a little bit more up front. Yeah, baby. Because ultimately we're going to pick that out again. Olive head up front and a whip finish. Give it one more. See, like for instance, like right there on this fly, no head cement, no resin, no insurance policy. I don't have much mentally invested into this one. I just don't. pick that all out. Hit with the brush, why not? Boy, I think that's got to be almost one of my little favorites, because the flash underneath is helping to hold that up and out, and that's definitely going to give us a little bit underneath, little incentive underneath. I like that. Bravo, bravo. I like that. Yeah. I think we're going to call our quits there, folks. We made it to uh, made it to the 8:30. Halfway past the halfway. Half past the half past. Yep, Josh, Project Clean Water sent an email to sign a waiver for in-person stuff. At least that's the way I understood it. Yep, that would be correct. We're getting there, man. And just understand, nothing is going to be moving fast. But good things come to those who wait. Patience. Patience is a virtue best learned over time, they say. And you know what? We've had a whole year to wait and a whole year to practice this. I am anxious to get into the whatever's next. I just really look forward to it. Like everything else, it's in 2005 when I was sitting in the middle of Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq, staring at the wall, thinking life is hell. What could possibly be worse than this? Oh my goodness. And, I think that prepared me for this year. I think that prepared me for somewhat of, just some of the mentality of, the hurry up and wait. And, we got so instant with everything. We got Amazon Now, Amazon Prime, Amazon yesterday. Deliver it to me while I think about it. And, this last year has been an opportunity to just kind of kick back, observe, and, really slow down, take your time. And I don't know. I've just learned to not expect anything all at once. I don't know. But we'll see, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Most fun next to fishing them is the dubbing loops. Yep. I do have I maybe we'll do a composite loops or making wire brushes next week. I got my brush making machine there, and I think maybe if I take that camera, put it up there on a tripod and aim it down, maybe, or this one, flip it around. We'll experiment. We'll see what we come up with for next week. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the chat, leave them in the comment. Always appreciate everybody taking the opportunity to join me. We'll do this again next week, some way, somehow, of some fashion. So we're going to cut it off a little early tonight. Back's a little tender. It's been a long day. It's this recovery from the daylight savings time. It's just an hour, but it throws a lot of people off. Sorry, my bad. We need to go to this one. So, yep, we'll leave it at that. Thank you all for watching. Please stay healthy out there. Please stay safe. Happy tying. Yeah, sure. You betcha. Tight lines. Peace.